Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in today's video, I wanted to share this home internet update with you guys. This is part 2 to Sasha Segan's interview. In yesterday's video, that was part 1, where Neville Ray discussed his mid-band leadership is only beginning. Well, in this second part of the interview, T-Mobile charts out better home internet options. If you guys remember a couple of days ago, I shared with you guys a leak of a new gateway unit potentially being introduced to the market. And then after that, we got more news that it is a new gateway unit that would eventually fill the supply chain. So the carrier's president of technology says T-Mobile is looking at different modems and in-home antenna options. So originally, Neville Ray did not want to stick an antenna on your window like Verizon is doing. But again, it seems like the better option. You are not always the best positioned towards a tower site. The capacity may be there, but your signal strength to the gateway is not always going to be the best for you to get the most possible best downlink and uplink. A home antenna option would greatly help that. And I think some of you would be okay with doing that if it will result in better performance. So I'm glad they're budging on that part. And I'm glad they're finally acknowledging that the Nokia gateway unit just wasn't going to be the best option. But early on, Neville says it was the only option. So before we get into it in more detail, I just want to point out really quickly, the best and quickest way for T-Mobile to make additional revenue and profits off of the newfound capacity from the Sprint merger is going to be this product. 100% home internet is going to be the best and fastest way for T-Mobile to make revenue, make profits, and keep wireless pricing the same and as aggressive as they are without having to raise those prices. This is the product that's going to get them there. So Sprint had this spectrum for years now. They've had 50% ownership in Clearwire, and then with the additional investment from SoftBank, they were able to acquire the entire company of Clearwire to now have full control of that spectrum. Now it's in T-Mobile's ownership. So let's see what T-Mobile really does with this spectrum a couple of years from now. Right now, it's being deployed at scale. And we all know T-Mobile's biggest lack over the years has been scalability. It's very important in the wireless industry to have scalability. It's one thing that Verizon and AT&T had for decades, and it's a reason why nobody has been able to compete in the places that AT&T and Verizon compete in, which is rural America. No other wireless company has been able to attempt to compete at that type of scale until now. So the interesting part here, give me a second. So the interesting part here is there is way more demand for this product than we imagined. Its performance is pretty strong and its price point is great, and folks hate their cable companies, Ray says. So this is a quote from Neville Ray. He says that the demand is way higher for this product than they could have ever imagined. I'm hearing the same. I'm hearing it's getting to the point where they have no choice but to add a second vendor into the mix to be able to fill the demand. Right now, they still can't meet the demand. In some cases, I'm hearing there's still a gap from you to get this product once you order it, up to 2 to 3 weeks in some cases, especially units that need to be replaced, which Sasha Segan reviewed this product as well and found its weakest point to be the Nokia home internet modem. My first unit failed and I needed a replacement. Same with me. I needed a replacement. And I'm sure there's others out there that experience this as well. So again, Neville Ray says we're absolutely expanding the number of vendor solutions that will be available, pointing out that when the service first launched, we didn't have a ton of choices. So Seems like Nokia was the only one that could somewhat fill the supply chain and the demand. And then he also goes on to say, which we are aware of, the Nokia modem also has no easy option to add an external antenna, which could really improve signal strength. So Neville is very well aware of this, but it takes some hardware hacking, which the average consumer really doesn't want to have to go through. So T-Mobile was extremely focused on ease of use at the beginning of its rollout, which it was very easy to install, but it's now trying to see how it can offer more flexible solutions. So the fact that they are looking into this could mean that there is a bit of churn, that they are seeing people return this product, which I have seen people do. They tell me, hey, I had to return it. It just wasn't fitting my needs. So again, T-Mobile is looking into making those issues less and less. One thing that he also points out, which I find interesting, he says even without extending coverage further than it is right now, so he's telling you their coverage hasn't extended any further in terms of home internet, T-Mobile is pretty thrilled about the demand it's seeing. While Verizon has taken 3 years to get to 150,000, which they disclosed on the Q3 earnings call, T-Mobile is aiming for 500,000 by the end of year. So they're getting there. They're clearly getting to that 500,000. They got 150,000 during the beta, and that was only a few months. So they're moving units at an incredible pace. So another thing that I know a lot of you are concerned about is he says T-Mobile has plenty of capacity on its mid-band network for more signups and won't need to dip into its millimeter wave spectrum very soon. So the volume of capacity we're generating with that mid-band deployment and our ability to start extending the reach and availability of that 5G home internet router product, that's pretty immense over the next 2 to 3 years. So again, he's telling us that the mid-band layer, the Clearwire spectrum that they got from Sprint, is going to allow them to have plenty of capacity on that mid-band layer for more signups. And they won't need to dip into their millimeter wave spectrum soon. So that means they have an immense amount of capacity for more signups, and the users that are signing up now are not necessarily slowing the network down. That's what I'm getting from this. That's what I'm being told. Right now, it's holding up. By running statistics and the numbers, T-Mobile said they have terabytes of capacity to offer to the users. So again, very interesting article. There are a lot of people out there that are looking for a secondary option to run two in the house, or they are looking to get rid of their first option altogether. A lot of these cable companies just haven't upgraded. It's just very expensive. So people want out. T-Mobile is able to offer speeds between 150 to 300 megabits a second. It just depends on the time of the day. It depends on how you're positioned to the tower, but it is able to do it at $50 a month. A lot of people like that price point for the performance. It's better than DSL and on par with cable. Again, it's not going to give you the throughput as fiber, but it could give you a fiber-like experience. What I always say is if you can load your content without any issues, then for you it would be a fiber-like experience, because if you had fiber, it would load it the same. The only thing is the throughput and the amount of capacity that fiber provides. So if you have a house of 5 people and all 5 are streaming 4K at the same time, there won't be any issues. I couldn't say the same for T-Mobile's home internet. It may not be able to do 5 4K streams simultaneously. I couldn't tell you guys. But what I do know is, based on this second part of the interview, Neville Ray is confident that his mid-band layer will supply capacity for the demand. And he says he does not have to dip into the millimeter wave holdings anytime soon. So that's good to see. And they're still rolling it out. In my case, just to give you an example, El Paso is at 40 megahertz of N41, and it's holding up the home internet. I get over 100 megabits during the peak hours, and later on into the evening, I'm doing between 200 to 300. That's at 40. So I don't see that slowing down, even if demand increased, and even when they do a nationwide campaign towards this, because they haven't done that yet. So I expect that demand to double. I don't see it slowing down too drastically. I think they will monitor it, but eventually that N41 is going to go to 60, 80. Then they'll have C-band to deploy as well. So I think they'll be fine for now. I think a couple of years down the line, depending on how wide they open this to how many people in the neighborhoods, I think there could be a concern. But at that time is when I think they'll start utilizing that millimeter wave spectrum in some parts of that footprint to keep churn from staying as low as they possibly can. They already probably anticipate some churn because cable companies and everyone else will get more competitive on this. They'll drop pricing, they'll give better retention offers. So T-Mobile will expect some churn on this product, but I think they don't want the churn to spike too high because it's related on performance. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. I will leave this article in the description so you guys can check it out. I just wanted to briefly discuss this. Neville is confident in the product. Of course he is. He is the president of technology, so he is also the face of this product because it's a product that comes from the network, and that's how they're going to get that additional revenue and profit to be able to scale their network even more. So again, leave all your comments in the comment section down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Follow my social media outlets. Thanks again for watching. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. I will see you in the next one. Peace.